Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's lecture is going to be on electroencephalography or EEG. At the end of this lecture, you should be able to define an EEG, identify the placement of the recording electrodes, explain the EEG wave patterns, explain the clinical significance of different EEG patterns. An EEG is a graphic record of the electrical activity of the cortical neural units in a volume conductor. Electrical activity of a single or a few neurons cannot be recorded through the skull because a few neurons are unable to generate enough electrical activity, enough electrical potentials to be recorded through the skull. A very large number, a huge number of neurons should discharge at one time, should generate electrical potentials at one time, so that these electrical potentials could be recorded through the skull. In this slide, we are looking at the picture of Mr. Hans Berger. Mr. Hans Berger is said to be the father of modern electroencephalography, and he recorded the first human EEG in 1924. The first recorded EEG is also shown along with. EEG is recorded by placement of 24 electrodes placed in a fixed standard positions on the unopened skull or scalp, and voltage changes are recorded between the pairs of these electrodes. We can place the electrodes directly upon the pia mater. This record is called electrocorticogram. These electrodes can be unipolar or they can be bipolar. Unipolar electrodes are placed, one electrode on the skull, the other on some other body part, and the electrical difference is recorded between the two. Voltage difference is recorded between the two. Then we can have bipolar electrodes, where both the electrodes are placed on different parts of the skull and the electric potential difference is recorded between the two. This slide shows the placement of EEG electrodes on the scalp of the subject shown, and alongside is the EEG record that is obtained. Some of the main waves are: number one, alpha rhythm or the alpha wave pattern. The frequency of the alpha wave pattern or rhythm is 8 to 13 Hertz. Its voltage, or you can say the height of the wave, is about 50 microvolts. This is recorded in an awake person but who is inattentive with eyes closed. Best recorded on occipital, parietal, and the frontal lobes. The wave pattern is given below. Then we have the beta rhythm. Its frequency is about 13 to 30 Hertz or cycles per second. Voltage is 10 microvolts, and this is recorded in a person who is awake, who is alert, with eyes open. Best recorded parietal and the frontal lobes. The wave pattern is given below. Then we have the delta rhythm or the delta wave pattern is seen. The frequency is slow, half to 5 cycles per second, but voltage is very high, up to 200 microvolts, seen in deep sleep, also seen normally in infancy, and in adults it is recorded on the parietal and the temporal lobes. This large wave pattern is seen below this column. Then we have the theta wave pattern. Its frequency is 4 to 7 Hertz. The voltage is 10 microvolts. It is seen again in deep sleep, also seen in children on their parietal and the temporal lobes. It is also seen during the state of frustration and also seen in certain brain disorders. EEG can give us good information in certain diseases. In coma, delta wave pattern is recorded. Other waves are usually not recorded. In brain death, we get a flat EEG. This indicates that even though the person might be on life support and is virtually alive, but he is in a vegetative state. Then we have other disease conditions like, for example, epilepsy. One type of epilepsy is grand mal epilepsy, which has tonic and clonic phases. In this grand mal epilepsy, we have very tall and high frequency wave pattern. Another type of epilepsy is petit mal epilepsy. Here we get a spike and dome pattern on an EEG record. During sleep, a lot of work on EEG has been done, and EEG has been extremely useful to study and research sleep disorders. There are two types of sleep, which is non-rapid eye movement sleep and rapid eye movement sleep. During these two types of sleep, we have various wave patterns. And study of these wave patterns has given us good insight in curing and treatment of different disorders. Then we have tumors in the brain. Tumors of the brain give us high delta wave pattern on the site. Another condition called hematoma, which is collection of blood on the brain, or we can have collection of some sort of fluid in the brain, that can also give us low voltage wave pattern on the site.